would like for us to discuss what makes us be able to look from the other person's perspective. Yes, so this is what putting ourselves in each other's shoes or into the other person's shoes is what? It's a behavior, right? This is something we do. This is a behavior. So here, let me go into my behavioral therapist mode, and let me ask you guys, what do you think a behavior is? What does it entitle? What it is? How would you define it? Just share whatever comes to your mind when you think about behavior. You can give me an answer. Again, no wrong answers, please, brothers and sisters. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's talk. Let's share. Tell me. What do you think a behavior is, or what comes to mind when you think of behavior? Again, you can write in the chat if you want, or you can just open your mic and share your opinion. An action or a response to a trigger. Okay, good. The way in which one acts or conducts oneself, and especially towards others, how we act or conduct ourselves. MashaAllah, MashaAllah, MashaAllah. I'm very happy with today's public because you guys are quite informed. Yes, definitely, this is what a behavior is. A behavior is anything we do. What we talk, what we think, what we do, the action we take. This is all part of a behavior. Right now, if we check into our next slide, well, we'll see what do we need to develop this behavior of putting ourselves in or walking into each other's shoes. It entitles two things. So yeah, behavior refers to absolutely everything we do, whether thinking, as I said, talking, or actions, actually doing actions, making actions. Now, when it comes to walking into someone else's shoes, this behavior entails two things: personality traits and some skills. And I would like, before moving to the next slide, for you guys to tell me, what do you think, what type of personality traits do you think are important so we can develop that behavior of trying to understand each other, trying to walk into someone else's shoes, trying to be more understanding of each other. What a personality trait do you think? Oh, good, mashallah. Mashallah, I'm impressed. I don't need to make the presentation anymore. Everything you guys know already. Yes, definitely. Qualities like empathy. Actually, being a good listener is not a personality trait; it's a skill, and this is something I would like for us to make the difference, to differentiate. But for now, just share everything you feel, and then we will have a small game where we will see what is a quality trait, a personality trait, and what is a skill. Okay. Right now, yes, empathy is definitely being able to reflect is a skill, but empathy, being able to definitely feel the pain without experiencing it, this is definitely a personality trait, yes. Someone said also calmness, very good, yes. Being a good listener, listening skills, this is skills, okay? So definitely, yes, we need to be able to be a good communicator, a good listener, and a good talker, speaker. Excellent. Compassion, definitely. Empathy and compassion go together. They are twins. So definitely, if you don't have empathy, it's quite hard to have compassion, and vice versa. Definitely, mashallah, brother Muhammad. What else, guys? What else do we have, brothers and sisters? So we said empathy. We said calmness, being calm. We said compassion. Those are definitely personality traits that we need to be able to exert or practice this behavior of walking into each other's shoes. Let me go to the next slide so we can actually see the quality traits or the personality traits needed in this case. So next slide. Yes, personality. It's having or being having altruism, so not being selfish, having empathy. You said that, mashallah. Having honesty, being honest, humility, being humble, not arrogant, being benevolent, so having benevolence, and being forgiving. Let's develop all of those. When we have a situation which is a tense situation, a problem situation, a challenging situation within our marriage, within our couple, being able to not be selfish and not think about me. I want to go on vacation in this place. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to spend so and so. I want to do so. And we can think actually about he wants to spend more time with his family. He doesn't want to go to this place. And being able to say, thinking about the other person, or at least as a we. This is usually, this helps a lot, again, into decreasing a challenging situation within a couple. Because anyway, we know that in any type of situation, conflict situation, if we are selfish, if we are unable to understand and feel that the other person is as entitled as us, to get upset, to be sad, to feel pain, to have wishes, to have an opinion, we have less chances to decreasing the tension, and actually it might even get worse. Empathy, definitely, yes. What is empathy? Empathy is definitely being able, as I said, to feel the pain, feel the fear, feel the happiness and the joy of someone without experiencing it. Okay, so it's not given to everyone. Rahma. We say it often, but we don't always really feel it. Right? It's easier for us to feel something we relate to. And we see this with the way we deal sometimes with our children, right? Or look, when we were kids, we all did naughty things. And the moment we become parents, we forgot how we were when we were kids. And we are unforgiving, and we are tough, and we are as if we've never experienced that. So being able to relate to someone's feeling emotions without really having to experience it, feeling someone pain without having to experience his grief, feeling someone fear without having to live with him in a country where there's a war going on. This is empathy. Okay? Honesty. Yes. A lot of problems within couples would be solved if everyone was honest and saying, yeah, I was wrong, right? Sometimes we don't want to actually look truth in the eye, and we would like just to hide ourselves and not recognize our mistakes, and this is lack of honesty, okay? So you would see sometimes in couples, when there are problems, everyone is going to dig more into on his side, to the point of being dishonest sometimes. Right? To the point of saying, no, I've never done this. And it's like, yes, you've done it 1,000 times. You just did it now. No, I've never done it. Right? So this is when, again, it's connected to humility. When we stop being humble and we stop being arrogant, and we say, no, winning this fight is more important for me than truth, than anything else. I just want to win the fight. So my pride makes me unable to recognize my mistakes, makes me unable to acknowledge what I done wrong, apologize, and say, yeah, and look at the truth and be honest. So again, arrogance and pride are real poison in any type of relationship, not just marriage. But in marriage, I would say the consequences of it are worst, right? Because again, there's a family involved, there's so much involved within it that is your pride as important as that? I don't think so, right? I always tell couples who come for counseling that if you look at the situation, in one hand you have your own self, your own nafs, And if you let your arrogance, your pride get the best of you, you're going to waste or hurt not only your nafs, but 5, 6, 7, 10 other people's nafs as well. Your kids, your spouse, your in-laws, your parents, and so on and so forth. Okay, so not being arrogant, not being proud, not having and having humility, being humble is definitely a personality trait that is going to help when it comes to walking into the other person's shoes. Benevolence. What is benevolence? Benevolence is wanting the good for the others, wanting, like the hadith says, you want for your brother what you want for yourself. And also in the same way, by definition, not wanting for others what you don't want for yourself, right? So a lot of people confuse this with empathy. It is not empathy. In empathy, it's a feeling, it's sharing a feeling. In benevolence, it's really a will, a wish. You do not wish for others what you do not wish for yourself. You do not, or you wish for others what you wish for yourself. And sometimes when you're really, really benevolent, or you can be benevolent at different levels with different people. If you take, for example, a mom, her level of benevolence for her kids is summum, right? So she might even want for her kids something that even for herself she will not wish to have. It will be too much for her. But for her kids, nothing is too much. Well, if you reach that level of benevolence with your spouse, if you're that willing to be good to him, if you're that willing to be kind to her, if you're willing to give her more that you will give yourself, and you are going to willing to be giving him more than you will give yourself, definitely this is again going to help with your the conflict situation, the challenging situation, the hard situations. Okay, being forgiving. Again, no one is mahsoom. No one is free of mistakes. Rasulullah was the only one who was mahsoom, not us, right? So we all make mistakes. So when I'm in the wrong, I'd like to be forgiven, right? So when I'm not, when someone else is in the wrong with me, making dhulm to me, I should be forgiving. Why? Because of benevolence, because I should want for the other what I want for myself, right? So all of those quality traits are going to help us, as I said, being able to understand each other, being able to make the effort to look at situations from the other person's perspective. Those were the personality. Okay? Do you want to add something? Do you feel we missed something, or there's a personality trait we should have added here or not? If someone has something to add, please, you can share it now. Okay, so now, you remember what we said? We had, in the behavior of walking into each other's shoes, we had personality, altruism, empathy, honesty, humility, benevolence, and forgiveness. And we have, number 2, skills. So before going to the next, before going to the next slide, who can give me some skills that are needed to walk into the other person's shoe? Let me check your chat. If I can have other brothers and sisters participating, that would be really, really great. I have Mehreen, I have Hazia, Aiza, Kenza, Zinat, Zubaida. You can write Faisal, Muhammad Amin. Please write into the chat if you don't want to talk. I'm sure you guys have a lot of interesting things to add. Yes, listening, mashallah. That was one. So we have also Amatullah, Sayed, Rubina. Communication skills, very, very good. Aziza, very good, mashallah, definitely. Communication skills, listening. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. we talked about communication skills and listening. So I will start with this, inshallah, instead of starting with practicing husn al-dhan. So there's a bit of a mistake here. It's husn al-dhan, no problem. So in communication skills, what do we have? We have two things. We have listening and we have communicating, expressing ourselves, right? So when we say communication skills, it's not just being able to talk, it's also being able to listen. How do we listen? Well, listening in a way that is respectful, listening not just to say I'm listening, but listening to understand. We often see in couple therapy or in family counseling of people who say, okay, I'm listening, khalas, you're done. Now I listen, now let me jump in. So usually when this happens, we know that the person was not listening to listen and understand, was just listening to get points and use those points then into the argumentation. That's not the point, right? This is not good listening. This is not active, respectful, effective listening. Effective listening skills is let me listen to see where I'm wrong if I'm wrong. Effective listening skills is let me listen to understand. Effective listening skills is listen respectfully without disregarding what the other person says. You know, the rolling of the eyes, this is not effective listening skills. We have to understand that when we listen to someone, the way we are going to act is going very, very often to be orienting or changing the way they speak, right? If you're talking to me and I'm looking at you and I'm doing this, yes, you're going to be calm, you're going to feel that, khalas, you have the space to talk, you have the space to say things, you're not being judged, you're not being mocked, you're not just giving the other person, weapons so they can come back at you, right? Now, if you're talking to me and I'm not cutting you off and I'm like, what's going to happen? The other person is going to become very defensive and might start shouting, raising their voices, feeling disrespected, jumping to a completely different fight. And we see this very often. I have a lot of couples who comes to the clinic, and what they say is, yes, he's disrespectful, he doesn't listen to me, he doesn't respect my opinion. And when we ask them, how did this fight start? And it started with a spoon. And it moved from the spoon to the disrespect. How did that happen? Well, it happened because at the moment where that person was talking about the very trivial problem of the spoon not being put back in place, someone else was not being an effective listener, right? And this is how we have a problem. And on this problem, we have many other problems coming and mutating, merging into this problem, and because that becomes very big. When you have like a couple who's going to divorce for a recipe that was did not work, or for a summer holiday, and you realize that the problem was not the summer holiday, it was not this, it was all the other problems that came merging to that trivial, silly problem. It very often starts like this. Okay, so being an effective listener, what did we say? A respectful listener, meaning I respect the other person, whatever they're saying, even if we don't understand it. Even if she's telling you that she's tired and it's too much for her and she can't stay more than 2 months without seeing her parents. And for you, it's fine. You can stay 6 months, 2 years without seeing your parents. Don't think that it is silly just because you can't relate. Okay. Number 2, being an effective listener is having the akhlaq of listening. I'm not on my phone. I'm not moving back and forth. I'm not watching TV and saying, I'm listening to you. You know how we say this sometimes to our kids, right? We don't look at them when they talk to us and we say, I'm listening with my ears. No, you listen with your whole face. Right? Because the same way when we talk to someone, we like them to look us in the eye. We want them, because this is how we know that they're actually paying attention to what we say. Being an effective listener is also, as I said, listening to understand. So maybe asking questions, saying, you know what, you said this, I'm not sure I understood. What do you mean by this? Asking for explanation, for further details. And this is being an effective listener. And this is definitely what we do at work. This is what we do at school. This is what we do when we listen to our teacher, to our boss in a meeting. We listen to gather information to succeed. So when we don't understand, we ask questions. And with our spouses, usually, when we listen and we don't understand, either we just say, let me not just ask a question, because then she'll go on a ramble for another 2 hours. And we just want to go to do our stuff. Or we might feel that she will think that whatever she's saying is stupid. It's silly. That's why I don't understand. It's not because I don't understand. It's not my fault. It's because whatever she says is nonsense, or he says is nonsense, right? So being, again, an effective listener means being able to listen, to understand, to solve the situation, to solve the problem. Now, we said that communicating effectively, being able to communicate effectively is not just, it's two parts. Effective listening, but what else? It's expressing yourself effectively, right? So I had a couple who they used to tell me, we are unable to talk. The moment she starts talking, the husband used to tell me, the moment she starts talking, my skin crawls, I start having a rash. Because I know that she's going to raise her voice, and I'm going to get really irritated about it. And then I'm raising my voice also, and she starts crying, and then the situation is blocked. And not move on, we cannot move back. So what we did with them was trying to define effective way to communicate. Sometimes we're not able to talk to each other, because we are upset, so our voice is definitely going to go up. And if my voice goes up, my husband's voice goes up as well, or vice versa, right? So what we did with them was establishing a quick WhatsApp channel where they would text each other. And that worked for a while until the anger and the pressure and the tension went down, and then they were a bit more able to talk with each other. So try to find what works for your couple. If talking when you're angry doesn't work, don't talk when you're angry. If talking when the kids are around does not work, don't talk when the kids are around. If talking doesn't work, don't talk. Write. Record yourself. Sometimes some of us are unable to talk when they are really, really, really angry. They have the idea, the words don't come out. So they don't want to say something bad, but just comes out. They will blurb it, right? So, and analyze the problem. Feel, understand, what mistakes do I make when I express myself? Why is my spouse unable to listen to me, right? Don't say he's not listening to me because he's a bad listener. She's not listening to me because she's making it a point to disrespect me. No. Go back to yourself. Maybe you're not that good of a communicator. Maybe you're not communicating in a way that is effective with your partner. Maybe it works with everyone else, but not with him or her. But you live with him and her. So find what works for you, right? Being a good communicator is being able also to communicate without, as we said, raising our voices. The one who speaks louder is not always the one we hear the best, right? Being able to get detached from personal accusation and attacks. If we want to say something to our spouse, it's always better to not dynamite the road to them listening to us. If you put a you bomb on the road where they're going to listen to you, they will not going to listen to you. If you start by saying, you are silly, you never listen to me, you don't understand anything, how do you want them to keep listening. When we feel attacked physically, we shield ourselves. When we feel attacked emotionally, we shield our emotions as well. What we do usually, we switch off. So the same way, if you don't want your spouse to switch off and stop listening to you, don't attack them. Obviously not physically, but don't attack them emotionally as well, by insulting them, by insulting their families, by saying things that you know is disrespectful to them. Even if it's not disrespectful to you, it's disrespectful to them, by saying things that you know is going to anger them, sadden them, pain them, irritate them. Anything that can go in the way, stand in the way of them listening to you, avoid it. And we know those things. The problem is when we are fighting, sometimes we are going to use those things, especially those things because we know going to hurt him. That's going to sting, right? This is being a good communicator. Being a good communicator is also being able to stick to the problem at hand, not go, stick to the problem at hand. So you have a problem today, you had a problem yesterday, even if it's a twin, do not go back to yesterday's problem. You already have one problem. Why are you going to look for another one? The old files should be archived and never taken again out from the archives. And I know we try to tell ourselves, yes, but I'm using this as an example. Yes, but I'm doing this so he understands. Yes, but I'm saying this because so she can see that she did it before. Not important. You already have it. You already have a problem. Why do you want two problems? Right? Being clear, being able to use proper words. And as crazy as it may sound, this is why when you are angry, it's better not to open problems when you are angry. If you have a problem with your spouse and you're really upset, or she's really upset, or he's really upset, wait a minute. Let your anger settle. Let his or her anger settle. And we have, alhamdulillah, tools. If you're standing, sit down. If you're sitting, lay down. If make wudu, make istighfar, right? Ista'idhu billah. There are so many things we can do. Wait a little bit, be patient. The problem is here, talking about it in 2 hours, 4 hours, and the next day usually doesn't really change the issue negatively. It can definitely benefit the solution. Okay? This is being an effective communicator. Now, practice husn al-dhan. We know this. We have been asked to do it. Anything we have been asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is for the good of everyone. Right? So, husn al-dhan means what? I'm sure everyone knows what husn al-dhan is. It's just thinking the best, or having the best expectation from everyone. Unfortunately, we do this with everyone but the people we are married with. We look at every single brother and we go, miskin, it's okay, he tried, it's not his fault, his job is stressful, he has many kids and one of them, blah, 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 blah. And when it's our husband in the very same situation, what do we say? Selfish. His mother did not raise him well. He doesn't think about anyone but himself. Why is he tired? Everyone is doing it. And I'm sure he's doing this exclusively to hurt me. He wants to anger me. He said this because husn al-dhan. Husn al-dhan. If she made a mistake, she did not do it on purpose to tell you, see, I did it, now what? No. If he said something that you took wrong, it doesn't mean that he made it on purpose to hurt you. Maybe he just thought it was okay. Maybe he did not say what he wanted to say. Maybe just slip of a tongue. Right? Husn al-dhan. When our spouse says or does something, we have to find excuses for them. Not one, not two, not three, tons of excuses. And we know this because this is our sunnah, right? Look for information before jumping on your high horses, making judgments, going into crazy mode. Just ask question. Why did you mean by this? Why did you do this? Why? Because sometimes we don't always have husn al-dhan. So asking the question, most of the time what happens, we go like, oh, okay. Ask, look for information. Ask the person involved. If I want to know why my husband does so and so, the best person to ask is not my friend. It's not my mom. It's not his mom. It's definitely not my sisters. It's him. The subject of the problem should be asked. Okay? Use imagination. Yes. What does this mean? Using our imagination meaning visualization. Being able to visualize, and I've done this many times with many couples, where I had the wife come and say, he doesn't spend time with me, he goes from work to the masjid, from the masjid to his mom, from his mom to work, I don't see him, his kids don't see him, and blah, 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 blah. So in this case, we just asked her to be her husband for 15 minutes. Close your eyes, imagine being your husband for 15 minutes. You wake up in the morning, you rush to work, you work with people with whom you might not have affinities, with whom you might not feel at ease. You have a stressful job, you can lose your job at any moment. Then you have to go to the masjid because you have to pray at the masjid if there's a masjid close to you and you're not tied somewhere. And then you have a sick mom, so you have to go to her, make sure she got her medicine, make sure everything is fine with her. She has her groceries, the house is clean and sorted. Then you come home and you're exhausted. If you are able to visualize this, to imagine the other person's life, it helps you, with your anger and your resentment. And same, we have husbands sometimes who say things like, I do everything, I work, and she's just at home not doing anything. Why is she always upset? Right? And then we say, okay, imagine you're your wife now. Wake up in the morning, you have the kids, you have the school trip, you have the breakfast, you have this and that and that and that. Imagine. You really feel that she's not doing anything. All right? We don't often have the chance to actually live the other person's life, but being able to imagine it can actually give us a good hindsight.
So true.
Next, we talked about communicating effectively. Now, venturing out of our comfort zone. Yes, you are used to having breakfast with chapati or with chai and with so and so and so, and your wife doesn't do it as good as your mom, and you have to learn to do it yourself. Ooh, horrible. It's okay. Venture out of your comfort zone. If it's going to be good for you, good for your family, good for your couple, don't stay in your comfort zone. Challenge yourself. Accept change. Don't stay into the routine if the routine is hurting your couple. Okay, if you have to learn new skills, if you have to change routines you used to have, if you have to accept not things being the way you imagine them, it's okay. Because it's less important than destroying your couple and your family. Okay? And making compromises. SubhanAllah. I think that this is one of the hardest things to do for couples. Being able to say, you know what? I'm right. I know I'm right. I know he or she is wrong, but it's okay. I don't care about winning this fight. I'm going to leave it. Because living in peace is more important than deciding what channel to watch. It's more important than deciding which parent's house should we go to for Eid. Deciding what car to buy. Being able to walk away from a fight, being able to say, you know what, I want this, but you know what, I'm going to give you this and take only half of this because I don't want to fight with you. This is so important. This is actually how we not just solve fights, but this is usually how we avoid them. And we know that the person who knows he's right and walks away from a fight, Allah builds a house for him in Jannah. So when you think about it, all the trivial problems we have within our couples, and a house in Jannah, honestly, even a house in anywhere in Canada, a house anywhere in England, and we'll be like, okay, I'm not fighting with you for the next 20 years. So imagine a house in Jannah, right? Any questions before we walk into some role play, I would say? There's a lot in the chat. Let me check the chat. Okay. So Sister Fahida says there are several issues related to other problems that make one bad attitude and hyper. What if problems are still there? We can't solve things by only listening or by using other techniques. Yes, by listening, we can't. But by, as we said, practicing husn al-dhan, looking for information, using our visualization and imagination skills, venturing out of our comfort zone, compromising, all of those, inshallah, we can solve them, bi'idhnillah. Do we have guarantee? No. But at least we will have no regret. We will know that, bi'idhnillah, I've done everything I can. Right? Better to learn this one technique right now. Oh yes, please learn it now, because it helps with everyone, subhanallah. It helps really with everyone. It's nothing to do about techniques if somebody not ready to solve problems first. Look, Sister Fahida, I would say that if someone is not ready to solve problems first, you can always compromise at first. And there's no shame in this. Because in marriage, especially, we are humble. We are not arrogant. We are not proud. We don't care about losing fights. It's not important. It's more important to live in peace, keep our families together, and not take dhunub. Okay, take sins for fights. Because we don't fight with our sisters at the masjid. Why? Because it's not good. It's sinful. But we go home and we scratch our poor husband's face as if it's not haram anymore to fight. Okay? There is no license to fight at home. It's not good everywhere. Okay? Now, those are not miracle solutions. You might try and you might already be doing all of this and your problems are not being solved because it takes two to tango. Right? So if the other person definitely is not responding to the compromise, is not responding to the effective communication, is not responding to anything, of course you can't build a relationship, whether a marriage, a work relationship, a sisterhood, or anything, a friendship, if you are the only person willing for that relationship to succeed. It takes at least two. Otherwise, it's not a relationship. It's a solo. Okay? So I do understand that this is not miracle solutions, but again, we are trying to improve our chances of success. We are trying to improve or decrease the problems and the tension challenges. Does it work every time? No. But it gets better, inshallah. Yes, definitely. This is us as Muslim. We have to practice ihsan. We know this. And we have to practice ihsan. And again, it pains me a lot when I see that as Muslims, the Muslim community, I see a lot of young Muslims practicing ihsan and trying to be the best version of themselves, trying to always improve their skills at work, with their brothers, with the parents, but not always with their spouses. Right? We always feel that the spouse is the lost shoe, that lost sock that we never find. Yes, this is the spouse, the one we never really, it's okay with them. We can be mean, we can be disrespectful, we can be, as I said, we can be fighting. No, we definitely have to practice ihsan and trying to improve ourselves and being the best version we can on a daily basis. Mashallah, very, very good from, I think, brother Walid Ashraf, who says, listen to her and take points. Listen to him also and write down things. Just say it in the beginning of the relationship. If you're not in the beginning of your relationship and you are in mid-marriage, just say, from now on, when you talk, I'm going to write it down so I can review it, write down the points, take notes, the way I would do it at work, and so I don't forget, inshallah. So you won't have to repeat it. And that's a very, very, very good point. MashaAllah, Jazakumullahu khairan, brother. Okay. I would love to suggest some good books, but I'm always a bit scared of doing this because a book I would like you might not like, and also for, I would say, vetting issues, I'm always a bit scared of doing this. But what I will do, inshallah, with Muslim Matrimonial, hopefully we will be having a small blog post about this subject, and we can put some links of some books I have read on the topic, inshallah. But please check the books and make sure that they fit your vision and they fit the way you think, inshallah. Yes, I think, yes. Oh, please do, if you want. Now, inshallah, is there any questions?
Now the floor is open for questions. Anybody would like to ask any questions? Because they've been asking you during the session, yes. So that's the reason, yes.
Alhamdulillah. So, now, do we still have a bit of time? I don't have the time.
Yes, we do. Brother Shafi, how much time do we have?
I think we have gone. I think as long as people are there, I think we
have questions. Alhamdulillah, we can go ahead.
We can.
Okay.
If they don't have any questions, then we can just do a summary and wind up the whole session.
Okay, perfect. So, I just have a question myself. If someone wants to answer, well, we had a couple who were with us. They got married for very good reasons. They were in college together. Everything was fine. So they wanted to get married. They knew each other for a very, very long time because they almost grew up together. The moment they got married, they kind of realized that the person they knew in university, at the aunt's place, and during the weddings, and was different from the person they live with now. And this is usually what happens, when the honeymoon moment goes, and you realize, who is this person? This is usually when the problem starts. And this is what we said last time, that we can't expect a relationship without problems, because we lived with our parents. We had problems with them. With our siblings, we had problems with them. We work, we have problems with colleagues. The only difference is when it comes to marriage, we have somehow this idea that it should be perfect. No, it's not. So we had this couple who said, we made a mistake. We did not know each other well enough before marriage. So now during the marriage, we're discovering this person, and this is not the person I want to be married with. Well, in any marriage you're going to discover the person, and you're going to say, this is not the person I want to get married with. But you're already married now. So this is why we have those skills. So for this couple, what we try to do is forget him, the one who you knew in uni does not exist anymore. He's gone. And the one you met at your aunt's house, beautiful, sweet, kind girl, is different now. Now she screams and she shouts and she's not sweet anymore. They're gone. You have to make do with what you have today. So to make do with what you have today, what do we say? We compromise, try to understand each other, we practice husn al-dhan, and so on and so on. Okay? So those are not just words. You actually have to practice these things. And this is what I said in the beginning, between the difference between a personality trait and a skill. A personality trait is very difficult to develop. It can still be developed, right? But it's very, very difficult to develop. Now, a skill is something you practice on a daily basis. You take notes, you make mistakes, you go back, you learn how to do it. Learning to become humble is you have to force just to be humble. Meaning what? Meaning that you have to actually tell yourself, let me not be arrogant. The moment you want to act arrogantly, you have to talk to yourself and say, this is arrogant, I should not do this. Does it mean that you become humble? No, but you became self-conscious of your arrogance or your pride. Now, a skill is much, much, much more easy to develop, because a skill is a pattern, a process. It's a methodology. Practicing husn al-dhan is actually you sitting and saying, maybe he did this because of that, maybe he did this because of that, maybe. And you know what? If you have to make an Excel sheet with 30 excuses and challenge yourself to find the 30 excuses for your husband, do it. You know what? It's going to calm your nerve. By the time you reach cell number 16, you forgot what he did. You'll say, "Khalas, I forgive him. I can't go all the way to 30." Do it. If you have to use the power of imagination and actually writing down your husband's daily life, do it. If you have to go with him, you have to go with her. If you have to take one day off from work, brothers, and be mom for a day, do it and see how it is. Okay? So this is why I often counsel people, advise people to, if it's you really have a lot of problem at home, and you find it hard because your personality traits or his or her personality traits are not really helpful in this situation of walking in each other's shoes, I would advise you to start with developing skills before developing personality traits, because those are much more easier. And there's no limit. As I said, if you have to sit in front of the computer and research how to communicate effectively, write down things, ask questions, practice in front of the mirror. There's one game we do in family counseling where we film them talking to each other. And then we let them watch themselves talking to each other. And believe me, some of them just go like, please stop it. I can't watch myself. This is how I talk. Because usually when we envision ourselves being so sweet and nice and understanding. But when we see ourselves from the other, and when someone will come, our spouse will come and say, why are you shouting? Say, I'm not shouting. All while shouting. When they say, why are you angry? I'm not angry. Because you don't see yourself. Now, if you record yourself or go in front of the mirror, believe me, you will hate the person you're going to see. Because you're going to realize, oh, this is how I talk, this is how I do with my face, this is how I move my hands. This is why she tells me she's scared of me when I'm upset. And I'm like, why are you scared? Stop your drama. No, it's not drama. I'm actually scary. Okay, so I've seen some question come in, I think. No, I don't think there's questions unless I've missed some. Okay, I'm seeing in joint families, members are creating issue in a married couple. Yes. You know what? Yes, Sir Walid. For some people, the family structure is in some couple, the finances are the problem. In some couple, the place where they live is a problem, or the friends, or the children, or a sickness, or work, or anything. We are on earth to be tested. and we are going to be tested. And yes, definitely in joint family, there might be enhanced problems, but honestly, ask people who don't live in joint families and they have a couple of problems as well. Now, how do we deal with this? Exactly the same way we deal with any sort of problem. With what we said. Personality traits and those, especially those skills, inshallah. But yes, definitely, inshallah. Oh, mashallah, Sister Yasmin is going to give us something on joint family issues, which is very good.
Inshallah, that session will be again the next session, especially going where we are going to explain how to get along with your in-laws, because especially the Indian and Pakistani families, most of us live in joint families, and how to get along with your in-laws, what are the hurdles you're going to face. This is the next session that's going to happen on the 11th of September. You all are welcome to join us, inshallah. You just need to go again to events on the website and register for the session.
Alhamdulillah. So I think there's no more questions.
I think there is one by Brother Waleed. What do you suggest to a male if he is married with a low?
Yeah, I could not understand that. So if Brother Waleed can just...
Brother Waleed, is it intellect? INTLUCT. Intellect.
Yeah. Yeah, if Brother Walid, he can even open his mic and try to explain. I could not understand that word as well. We have Sister Kenza, who said...
somebody who is not well informed. Intellect means somebody who is not well informed.
Oh, okay. Well, we were then. I am intellect because I didn't know that
word. No, sometimes, we don't know all the English words. So, alhamdulillah, this means somebody who's not. It happens in couples where you see somebody is well informed. The husband might be highly educated, but then, because you're married through your families, that person may not be as educated or as well informed. Your spouse may be not. So, how would you deal with a situation like this?
Yes. Well, again, you remember what we said, you make the best of what you have, because a divorce is amongst the authorized things, is the most hated things by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I believe that, we have, alhamdulillah, all the tools in our religion. If you see something in your spouse that you don't like, look at the things you liked. Right? If you did not know her in the beginning and you didn't know that you might not have had the same level of education, or you were not, she might not be as cultured as you are, look at other things she does that you might not have, other skills, other qualities, other personalities. I know it can get frustrating if you want to talk about everything and you want your wife to be your best friend and the person you talk to about every single topic, from politics to football and whatever, and she's not able to give you that support and give you that ideal that you imagined, right? But you remember what we said, try to get out of your comfort zone. You might have had an ideal before, you imagined your spouse to be a certain way, she turned out to be a different person, different version of what you looked for, not what you wanted. But again, look at the positive in her and try to change your vision, try to get out of your comfort zone. Especially if you have children, it's really, really important that you see that person not just as your companion, but also as the parent of your children. And we have a lot of couples who develop very, very, very strong ties, a lot of respect, a lot of affection for someone, not necessarily as a man or as a woman, but as the parent of the child, my children's mother. I love her and I respect her, because she's my children's mother, or because he's my children's father. So I believe that a person is more complex. A person is more than their IQ or their bank account or their job. Or a person is millions of different cells and T's, and look at this, inshallah. Okay. Okay, so Sister Kenza, I think the brothers and sisters from the website can probably go back to you for your question. inshallah.
Okay. I would just like to say here, Sister Kinza, that inshallah, it's very simple. We're just coming to the last session where we will explain to you how you get into other sessions of ours. Alhamdulillah, we keep on having literally 1 or 2 sessions, webinar sessions every month. So we would like to thank all of you all to being part of this session with us. You can watch our YouTube videos. We have so many more sessions where even webinars like this are recorded and then posted on our Muslim Matrimonial YouTube. So you can go and see, like last session which we had was Expectation versus Reality by Sister Butina. This has been posted over there, like looking for a perfect partner and expectations. So this was her last session. We posted it there. So alhamdulillah, this session also is recorded. We are going to post it on the website, on our YouTube. In the same way, all future sessions, there are many more learning sessions which you can go through the YouTube and you can check them out, inshallah. The future sessions you can attend is go to our, can we have the slide before this, Brother Shafi, which actually tells you how to go and register over there. So if you go under events on our website, so you can see over there, you can just go under events and you can register for our events. This is the best way to register for our future sessions. We are always looking for volunteers. So if any of you brothers or sisters would like to be a part of our team and volunteer with us as consultants or counselors, please email us at info@muslimmatrimonialcanada.ca so we can have an interview with you, and then alhamdulillah we can ask you to join us. Now if you would like to partner with us, if you have got a nice organization and you feel that it is a win-win proposal for both, like for example Sister Butina, alhamdulillah, she has partnered with us. So all our people who need counseling, we actually forward it to her so that she can counsel them. This is a win-win proposal. Alhamdulillah, if somebody has got a nice website with, now one brother was putting up a website information and I stopped the person, I don't know, it was a brother or a sister, and I told, please do not do this, because you do not come to other person's session and post and promote your website. No, that's not right. You ask the permission of the organization and then you promote it, alhamdulillah, and we would be very happy to support you. In the same way, if you want to do it for a future session, brother or sister, whoever it was, please do give us a message or email us, do a tie-up, alhamdulillah, and be a part of our team. We really welcome our other Muslim brothers and sisters to be, but be fair to everybody, because we do not know who and what you are. We have to make sure you're an authentic person. We do not want any fake people joining us, because there are a lot of things happening in this world which are not really good. Like for example, you go to different organizations, there are fake profiles being made by people and put up over there. So we do not want to be part of it. So if you want to volunteer with us, be a part of our consultancy team, you want to volunteer with us, organize physical events for us, virtual events for us, promote our organizations, please do connect with us. And my email address is info@muslimmatrimonialcanada.ca. So depending, even for example, if you're from the IT team, you want to be part of the social media team, Brother Shafi is there, IT@muslimmatrimonialcanada.ca. Help him out. If you want to be part of operations, if you want to be part of marketing and sales, please do email us at info@muslimmatrimonialcanada.ca and we will make you a part of our team. Please help us promote our YouTube videos, subscribe to our channel, and be a part of Muslim Matrimonial. Jazakallah khairan. If you have any questions, please do get back to us, inshallah.